Welcome back to another episode of The Reason Being. Today we have the talented Caleb Dean, three-time national champion, indoor, outdoor, team title.
Team title for sure.
Texas Tech legend. You just got your master's degree.
Yes, sir.
And he earned his stripes. Don't forget that.
3-stripe life, you know what I'm saying?
Caleb, how you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I appreciate you for having me on here.
Appreciate you for coming, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure. Got to show out, you know what I'm saying?
True.
How you doing, though?
I'm good, bro. Taking on this new journey. Yeah.
I feel you, bro.
How's it for you in the pro ranks?
Bro, honestly, it's low-key the same. Like, it's low-key the same as the training here at Tech. So
Yeah.
I didn't really have to adjust that much, you know what I'm saying? So, my days are from 9 a.m. We start practice at 9 a.m. and then we end at like 2 p.m.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it is long. I that's the thing I look at adjust to. Like the training sessions are very long, but other than that, as far as training wise, like what we do, it is definitely similar to Texas Tech. So
well, that's good. That means they set you up good.
For real, for sure. And then my training group, they cool. Everybody cool. Coach Bowerman, he's a cool guy. He knows what he's doing. So I'm excited for the season for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna show. Bro, I'm gonna show out. Trust. I'm gonna show out.
You know what you can do.
Yeah,
bro.
for
you
sure.
Know what you can do. But before you even get here, we kind of just want you to give us the story of how you became who you are.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
wait, hold on.
Oh,
Hold on, man. Let me kind of do it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Do your thing.
Yeah, a little thing I want to do. I always like to do is a little self reflection because we know you as an athlete. I like to ask the athletes how would they see themselves. Like when you look in the mirror, who is Caleb Dean to Caleb Dean? How would you describe yourself?
For sure. Well, I describe myself as a child of God,
Yeah.
I give my glory to him for sure because, without him, I wouldn't be in this position right now. So definitely child of God. I'm a self-motivated person, self-driven person, financial planner. I got my master's in financial planning. And I'm just a family-oriented person. I love my friends. I love my family and everything like that. I'm just a cool guy to be around. But yeah, like other than that, like I'm a down-to-earth guy. I'm a genuine. I'll keep it real with you and everything like that. So that kind of describes who I am as a person. I would say I'm humble, but when people say they're humble, they're not really. They be like, "Oh, let others say you're humble." It's something like that. But like, I do feel like I'm humble. But that's kind of describes myself and everything like that. So.
Yeah, you are humble. The only thing I was kind of worried about with this is like you don't talk much, so I'm glad you're talking.
Yeah.
So I do think you're humble.
Yeah.
But I do notice that like you're really talented.
Yeah.
And like I want to know like how you got into athletics. I would imagine you being an American, this isn't your first sport.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not. So it started when I was about like 8 or 9. Like football was my first love.
Yeah. I
fell in love with football. Everybody had that dream of going to the NFL. I thought I was going to be in the NFL. I swear to God. But like I was raw at football, and my parents wanted me to do track because they wanted me to get faster for football.
Oh.
And I was doing both sports at the time when I was younger. And I was doing both sports until the age of like 15, maybe? Freshman year of high school. That's when I stopped. I went to DeMatha Catholic. It's a powerhouse for sports and everything like that. Like Chase Young went there. Markel Fultz. Like we have a lot of people that are in the league, like Hall of Fame and stuff like that. So, I went to a dominant, football school, track school, and everything like that. And coming into high school, I was small, bro. Like I was 5'1", 95 pounds. Like I hit my growth spurt late as fuck. Oh,
you good.
Okay. Yeah, I hit my growth spurt late. So I hit my growth spurt probably like junior year. So like my freshman year, my sophomore year, I was tiny, and they weren't. I went to a powerhouse school, so like they weren't playing me. Like I was like third string and stuff like that because I was like I had talent, but like. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to play me. So I was like, okay, like, I'm going to quit football and I'm going to focus on track. So I focused on track. Bro, I can't lie, I was getting cooked. Like,
For real?
yeah, like it's because everybody was so much bigger than me. Like, I didn't grow, so I was still like kind of running the same time as I was running like middle school. So I was like, bro, what's going on? I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm gonna grow. Like, come on. Like my sister, she's 2 years younger than me, and she was taller than me. Like she was like 5'7", 5'8". Like she 5'7", 5'8" now, but like at the time she was taller than me. She was bigger than me. Everybody thought she was older than me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bruh, like come on, I can't live this lifestyle, bruh. So I ended up finally growing, like probably my junior year. I grew to like 5'8", 5'9", and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see a change in my performance and stuff like that. You know, I'm getting bigger and stuff like that, and you know, that's kind of when like it switched, it snapped. Like I started performing well enough to get a scholarship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But coming out of high school, I only had one scholarship, and that was from the University of Maryland. Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, and it was like,
wondering.
yeah, it was at 35%. Like I remember to this day, I had 35% my first year, 60% my second year, and 100% scholarship my third year. So I was like going in. You know, I was just grateful, you know, for the opportunity that someone actually like tried to recruit me, because I thought I was going to go to University of Memphis, but they ended up
What's wrong with Memphis?
Nothing wrong with Memphis. I was trying to go there. Honestly, I wasn't trying to stay in the state of Maryland. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to leave home, but honestly, I fell in love with Maryland. I loved Maryland. I was there for 3 years, and you know, I had to. I met my girlfriend there. I met like all my friends there, my closest friends. So Maryland was good. I just had to. I had to leave. You know, like the resources there. They lacked resources. Their coaching was
not it.
Yeah, not it. So I had to. You know, I had to enter my name in the portal for real.
Yeah,
but
like, okay, so let's talk about your first year in Maryland.
Okay.
How was that?
Honestly, it was cool. Like I ran like 8:03 in the 60-meter hurdles. So I was like, oh dang, like I'm actually like low-key good.
Yeah.
Like I adjusted quickly to the 42-inch hurdles and everything like that. You know, a lot of people, they can't really adjust that quickly, but me, it was nothing to me. Like it was the same as like 39 inches. But first year at Maryland, it was great. I met my girlfriend my freshman year. Had close relationships with my friends, my teammates, and everything like that.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit. Like
COVID was your first year?
Yeah, yeah. My freshman year was COVID.
I thought it was 2019.
Yeah, so it was like 2019. Yeah, that's when I went to college.
Oh, but 2020 was your first
Yeah,
year?
like we was. I did indoor, right?
Yeah.
And then we was waiting for outdoor.
Yeah.
And COVID happened, and I was finna go. We was finna go to Miami for spring break.
Yeah,
it would have been my first time in Miami. I was so excited, and then they was like, "Oh, this virus! Like, we gotta close down school.
Bro,
we gotta like y'all can't compete." But COVID, I'm grateful for COVID. It was like a blessing in disguise because it gave me that additional year to get my master's and also to compete at Tech. So
yeah, that's how I ended up at Tech too.
Yeah,
of COVID. Like people blame COVID for a lot of things.
Yeah,
but man, that's how I got my master's
for
too,
sure.
Bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really thought your first year was 2019.
Yeah,
interesting. I mean, it is 2019, but 2020.
Yeah.
The thing I didn't like about Maryland though is like y'all don't go to Big Tens.
Yeah, we don't. We don't. We don't have an indoor. The men's team, we don't have an indoor team, and it is crazy. It's like some Title IX issue. Like there's more like women's sports or something like that.
Yeah.
The men's sports, so like they have to compensate, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, we compete in indoor, but we can't go to the Big 12s or national. Yeah. Big 10s or nationals. So it's like waste. It's eligibility is still wasted. So it's like,
you still lose that as well?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's crazy.
I didn't know.
It's crazy.
Oh shit.
So it's like I'm competing for nothing, basically, like just for shits and giggles, you know, for fun, you know, like so.
No, I feel that. All right, so second year going in, you know, fresh off of COVID. New season. How was that season for you?
That season was pretty good. I was still training like when COVID happened. Like I was running like I had like a hill in my neighborhood, like a local hill.
Yeah.
So I was running that hill during COVID. But my second season is when I got the opportunity to run 400 hurdles. Like I ran in high school one time, but like That's it.
Yeah.
I was used to the 300 hurdles, so like 400 hurdles is kind of new to me. But I ran the 400 hurdles, and my first race was in Florida. I was racing a couple cats from Iowa, and Iowa,
Yeah.
Iowa, they have great hurlers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was racing against Jamal Britt. And
yeah, Jamal was still there?
Yeah, he was still there. He was still there. My second year at Maryland,
Yeah.
he was at Iowa, and we raced in the 400 hurdles because he a dual hurler.
Yeah.
He was a dual hurler at the time.
Yeah.
And I won. I beat him, and I ran like 51-2 or something like that to open up. And I'm like, hold up, I'm low key tough. Hold up, like I have some potential in this event. So I mean, it was kind of a surprise to me. And mind you, I didn't know anything about the 400 hurdles. I didn't know people go 13 to like 5, 13. I didn't know anything about the steps. I was just running it.
Yeah.
I was stuttering and everything like that, and I still managed to run that time. So I was like, okay, I got potential. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it went. Other than that, I think my first season at Maryland, I came second at Big Tens.
Yeah.
I ended up beating Jamal 2 times, like before Big Tens.
Yeah.
I beat him in the 400 hurdles twice, and then at Big Tens, he beat me. We both ran 49 seconds though.
Yeah.
We broke 50. We broke 50 for sure. So when I broke 50, I was like, yeah.
I'm here. I'm
here to stay for sure.
Yeah.
So it was definitely kind of a shocker to me. I didn't know I was gonna go that fast, but it was dope.
So you go into regionals, obviously.
Yeah.
But you didn't come out.
No, I came out. Wait, did I? Yeah, I came out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that second year, I went to regionals. I was so nervous.
For real?
I was telling my coach, I'm so nervous. I don't know what to like do. Because it was my first time at regionals, right?
Yeah.
And that top 3, it could be like scary. It could be like terrifying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I ended up making it, and I was happy. I was blessed to be able to make it to nationals. I was excited and nervous at the same time. But then when I went to nationals, I got cooked. Yeah. I think that's when Sean won. Sean Burrell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2021. Yeah, 2021. Yeah. I got cooked for sure. I got cooked. Second team All-American. I'm not mad at it because, people dream to be in that position, but I got cooked for sure. Yeah.
I like the honesty, man. I really do. Like I feel that. All right. So that's your second year. This is your third year now.
Yeah.
You're still at Maryland.
Yeah. 2022. Yeah.
2022. You start becoming more consistent.
Yeah.
In the 50-point range.
Yeah.
That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
What changed?
Honestly, my coach. I had a new coach. I had a new coach every year at Maryland. So I didn't have the same coach. Like the same head coach was there.
Yeah.
But like the sprints hurdles coach, it changed every year. So there wasn't really consistency. And I think the 2020 year was my worst year. That's when I wasn't able to PR at all.
2020?
2022.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like I was running 49s, I was running 50 points consistently, but I didn't PR that year at all. Oh. And I knew I was faster than what I was putting out on the track.
Because you ran, what, like 10.5 at Penn Relays?
Yeah. And I was like low key, because I ran 6.6 that year too. And I thought I was going to run faster. Yeah. But I thought I was going to run like a 10-100. Yeah. But nah, that second half of the race, it kicked in for sure. Yeah. It kicked in. But, I had a new coach every year. I knew I was faster than what I was putting out on the table. But something wasn't clicking. And, I love that coach. His name is Coach Garfield. He at FAMU right now. He's the head coach. So shout out to you, Coach Garfield. Like, we locked in for sure. But, that third year at Maryland, it was like a life-changing year because I decided to go in the portal after. I was like, I know I could do better. I know I could be better. So why not try to invest in myself and, take that risk? And I was leaving. Like, Maryland was my everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, my sister is at university. She was a freshman when I was a junior at Maryland. She ran track? No, she didn't run track. She was a narc. Yeah. But she didn't want to do anything in college. But I left my sisters, my girlfriend, all my friends, and my friends were telling me to leave. Like,
for real?
Yeah. Like they're like, bro, like you have fucking potential. Like leave, bro. Like this place is not it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, bro, like I'm gonna take y'all advice, bro. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to go to Florida.
Oh,
Like,
for real?
I was trying to go to Florida. Florida was my dream school. But when I was in the portal, I was talking to them. Like they ended up ghosting me for real.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they
Damn.
ended up ghosting me, and Kathan McDonald. Yeah, like the only reason I'm at Tech is because of him. So shout out to you, Kathan, for real.
Yeah.
So basically, he was on his visit, right? And then he was like, "Oh, one of my friends, one of my teammates, he's in the portal as well." And he had his meeting with like all the coaches for some reason. But like, yeah, I was like, why are you having a meeting with all the coaches?
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, my friend's in the portal too. He's my teammate. He does hurdles. He runs 6'6" in a 60 dash. He runs, 49 and 400 hurdles. And they're like, what's his name? He's like, Caleb Dean, like, that's his name. Hey, oh shoot! They looked up my time on T-First and stuff like that. They was like, "Oh, we finna give him a call after this meeting."
Yeah,
and they gave me a call, and then we both ended up being at Tech. So
yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I talked to Coach Rob before this just to get like some insider information. And
Yeah.
whatnot. He was telling me that initially he didn't want to sign.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Yeah. I'll tell you the story, bro. Cause I said, Coach Rob, like, I expect 100%. Like, I'm not settling for anything less.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, we can't give you 100%. Blase. Something like, we have dogs here. I'm like, not necessarily saying you're not a dog, but like, we can't give you 100%. I said, you crazy? Are you crazy? But then I had everything paid for when I came here. But like the stipend that I was getting, it wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So like I was getting like $900, $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I had to pay rent with that. Like my rent was like $600. So I was like, pocket change was like $400. Nothing crazy, right? But then the following year, like they definitely upped it for sure.
Before we leave Maryland though, I do have like a bone to pick of Maryland, bro. You know this dude named Deshaun Morris?
Yes. 45, dude. 45 cat. Came to Maryland.
Trash.
Did not touch it at all, bro.
Bro.
All the Jamaicans, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my God.
Colin Rowe.
Yeah.
Deshaun Morris.
Bro.
Roshan.
What's it? Roshan Rowe?
Roshan, yeah, bro. All the Jamaicans go to Maryland. They was not.
Bro.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you come, bro, there's a thing. I'm not trying to like bash Maryland for real, but like, there's a thing. There's a saying that we had in Maryland: come to Maryland, get worse; leave Maryland, get better.
Oh shit! I mean,
that's what people was saying.
Angel Reese.
Yeah, literally, Angel Reese. Angel Reese. She was at Maryland, LSU. Now she a millionaire.
Yeah, bro, man, that dude. Good, bro.
Yeah.
And we don't see nothing. I raced him in 2019 when I was at Iowa. Mm-hmm. I had him in the heat. Yeah. I ran like 46 and beat him. I was like, bro. Yeah. This ain't it, bro.
Bro. Yeah. He was one of them ones, 45 in high school.
Winning, bro.
45. Bro. I don't know why. I don't know why he came to Maryland. I mean, a lot of Jamaicans go to Maryland, though.
I heard it was like some like deal thing. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, but when I was on a full scholarship at Maryland, my third year, I was getting $2,800 a month.
Oh.
So, like, they was low-key paying me for real. They was paying the people. And I know Deshaun, he got 100%.
Yeah.
So, like, he was getting 28. The money was good, for sure. Yeah, the money was good.
But, yeah. That shit tanked, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Heck no.
Yeah.
I that's why I don't like Maryland. Personally, because I seen how it
felt. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like, low key, I don't know how I made it out, bro.
Trenches, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and Kathan, we made it out, bro. I really don't know how. Like, all my other teammates, like, they either got worse or PR'd by a little bit throughout their 4 years at Maryland. So.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But your first year came to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
How was the transition?
Shit, the transition was cool. Like, I mean, I made a name for myself for real. Like, I came fourth. Well, starting in indoor, I came second at indoor natties. So, indoor natties. Then moving to outdoor, I got fourth in the 400 hurdles. Yeah. That kind of hurt, though.
Yeah, we want to talk about that one. Because Coach Rob told me about the story about that one.
That definitely hurt, for sure.
Yeah. But, like, all right, so your first year, you had Courtney Lindsay, Terrence Jones. Those are the big names.
Yeah.
How was that training? Because, like, You train with them the sprinters, but then you'll jump in with like Shamar.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That team, we had some dogs.
Yeah.
I think that was the best team Tech has ever had. But we didn't end up winning. Like, we ended up winning the national championship the following year. But I feel like we had a better team, that year. But, training wise, it was great for like they were able to push me each and every day at practice. Like I couldn't slack. Like there was no option. Like if I was slacking, they would have busted my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have Jacoby?
Pause though. Yeah, Kobe was there, bro. Like everybody was there. Antoine came in.
Oh yeah, that was Antoine's freshman year.
Yeah. That spring semester. So, bro, we had dogs. For real.
That was a nasty team, man. But let me talk about like indoor nationals. How was that experience for you?
It was the first time at nationals.
Yeah, you got second.
Yeah, it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience. But I was mad that I came in second because like damn, like I was so close to coming in first. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather come in like sixth, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Nah. But like I was so close to coming in first, so I was like, dang. But from not being at nationals to coming in second, it was like, yo, like that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. But I was like, cause 60 hurdles is not my main event. Yeah. So I was waiting for outdoor. I'm like, I'm about to bust y'all.
That was your main event.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. A lot of people did. A lot of people did. I was like, but I know my main event is in the 400 hurdles. Like I'm finna cook something up in the 400 hurdles come outdoors. So I was happy. I couldn't be mad at myself, but deep down inside I was a little upset, of course, because I was so close to coming and winning it all. Yeah. And then, because I thought low key, I didn't think anybody beat me. But then Gino Roberts, like, he was on like in lane 8, bro, and I couldn't see him on my peripheral vision. So, and then he won, bro. I was like, no way. I swear to God, I thought I won, bro.
Hey, that's Jamaica. That's what we do, bro.
Nah, bro.
We take that goal. Yeah. But that's crazy though. I ain't gonna lie. That was a crazy race, and that indoor season was crazy because like even when y'all was training, I would watch it. I was like, this is war out here.
Yeah, we was going at it. Me and Antoine, me and Rooney. Kyle was there. Like we was going at, but the team that they have now, bam. My record probably gonna be gone this season. Bro, I thought 752 is gonna be gone.
Bro, I talked to Coach Rob, and he's saying it's gonna be a harder team to pick this year than it was last year. I'm like, how they recruit is insane to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yes, bro. I'm like, how y'all get all these cats, bro?
It's because of people like you, though. Like y'all come here and y'all do good, but then y'all do great. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like here, it's like you need 2 years to be really like here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Courtney was good his first year, but his second year, great. He was good your first year, second year, great. Terrence the same way. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it is, bro. But sheesh, man. But let's talk about your outdoor season, your first year at Texas Tech. Yeah, you. I thought you would have ran one personally, but Christopher Robinson.
Chris Robinson, my boy. Yeah,
he was doing good. I didn't know that was before the race that you hurt your leg. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah. I recently learned that.
Yeah, bro. Like I was warming up, feeling good. I'm like, okay, I'm finna cook something up, and then my foot just started hurting. I'm like, bro, why is my foot hurting? And mind you, this was at the time, the 4x1 just won, right? Yeah. But they got DQ'd. Yeah. So, like, everybody was trying to solve it and figure that out and, like, kind of, protest that. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, my foot is hurting. Like, I'm not even trying to make no excuses, but something is wrong with my foot. So I thought I warmed up normally and it just happened, right? Yeah. I didn't trip. I didn't fall. I didn't do any of that. It just happened. And I thought I like twisted my ankle or something like that, but that wasn't the case. So I'm warming up. That happened. And also the 4x1 won, but got DQ'd. So they're trying to protest that. And like low key, I'm not getting like really attention, bro. Like I'm about to run and I need to get worked on. My foot's hurting, bro. Yeah. Like everything's going wrong. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like I don't know what to do. So I'm like, I think my foot, I just sprained my ankle. So can you just, I said, Frank, can you just wrap my foot? Like I need my foot wrapped and like give me some Advil or whatever. So I did that. I ended up still warming up and everything like that. My shit was hurting, bruh. I was like, bro, this is literally the worst time. My family was out there. My girlfriend was out there. So my coaches were out there, like from my like AAU, like high school and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, I gotta run. Like I can't let them out. Like I have to run. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run. Like I don't care. I'm still gonna win.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm still gonna win. I'm still gonna run my ass off. I get to, the starting line. My ankle wrapped and everything like that, and then the race begins. Mid race, I'm moving. I'm feeling good, and then I approach the 6th hurdle, and it's like my steps are off. Like it's weird. My steps are off, and then I ended up finishing the race. I came in 4th, bro, and I'm like 4th with a 48.4.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Chris ended up showboating, doing the little hamstring pull, joke gritty. Yeah, like that hurt, bro. That hurt because I did that in indoor when I won the CJ hurdles.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But props to him. He deserved it for real. But then I kid you not, that night I was in so much pain. I couldn't walk. I ended up breaking my foot.
Yeah.
The following day, I literally could not walk on my foot. I was hopping, and no one really thought it was that serious. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm in so much pain. I can't walk on my foot. I'm literally hopping, bro. Yeah. And I was kind of, I acted like a kid, low key. Like I threw a temper tantrum, bro. Because like the following day, me coming in 4th, I was disappointed, bro. All my friends and family were there. I was disappointed, and like, no one really thought my injury was that serious. I
don't think that's what it was. I feel like it's more because like the season was over.
Yeah. That is true. That's true. But like, I was like, bro, Mary, like, please help me. Blah. But like, other people were competing, so like, that was their main priority. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, bro, like, I need a boot. I can't walk and stuff like that. So I ended up in a boot and everything like that. And then, I had trials like 2 weeks after that, and I tried to compete. I tried to run, and I literally couldn't run at all. And then we ended up
trials.
I didn't.
Oh,
okay. I was finna go to trials though. Yeah. So I came back after nationals after I broke my foot and everything. I didn't know it was broken. I thought it was just like, oh, I sprained my foot. Like I'll be good in a couple of days. Yeah. But we had practice the following week. I did a jog. I could not jog. I was literally limping, bro. Yeah. And Coach Rowe was like, "You're limping." Like, oh. Like, nah, we need to get an MRI, an X-ray and stuff like that. And then they found out I broke my foot.
Which leg was it?
It was my right leg. Yeah. It was my right leg. So I ran on a broken foot. Yeah. Of course, it didn't really feel like that.
Adrenaline and shit.
The adrenaline was crazy. Yeah. But I think it definitely did play a role in me coming in 4th. But, I mean, that was a great race, fast race. Yeah.
I recently learned that. I did not know, like, it was... I thought you hurt your leg during the race.
Nah,
I didn't know it was before.
It was before, bro.
Because I was on like staff that time. So I was with like the 4x1 stuff. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. I think you were working with like Cam and Kendall, maybe.
I was.
Yeah, bro. But how was that summer for you, man? Coming off that high to then just like.
It was hard. I ain't gonna lie, because I thought I was gonna go pro after that.
Oh, you wanted to? Based on times, just because you wanted to.
Hella agents were talking to me, and they were like telling me that like
that dream
that like once you win nationals, like you're gonna go pro, you're gonna sign a contract and stuff like that. So I thought I was gonna go pro, but then like me coming in 4th is like, damn, I really came in 4th. Then they were like, oh, you have trials, you could make the trial team or whatever, or the world team, but I couldn't compete. So it was like, bruh. And I was in a boot the whole summer too. I didn't start training until like October.
Late October.
October. So
and even
it was kind of hard, just being around in a boot. It was annoying. So
how was that training coming back?
It was hard because like my foot was still hurting. So I was like, bro, am I like healthy? Like I'm not trying to make it worse, but like they're like, oh yeah, that's normal. Like of course you haven't ran on your foot. You haven't done anything with your foot, so of course it's gonna be like sore. Of course it's gonna be hurting and stuff like that. So I was low key scared. I was like, bruh, nah, bruh. I don't know why, but like
I was scared too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but I just had to trust them, and then it worked out.
Yeah, it did work
I haven't
out.
had any like problems with my foot.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I mean, when I saw you coming back, because even Alyssa, she's basically in the same thing right now. I'm like, I've seen this before,
Yeah.
but just like, you know, with you,
Yeah.
I've seen it. She's like in the same process of trying to come back. I was like, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like, I seen you were doing like, what's that? The mat runs, those little form stuff where you would like jump in on like little days with like Coach G and that.
And then the Ultra G.
Yeah,
I was in there, bro.
that must have been like playing on your mind a little bit.
Low key, yeah, it was like I was kind of second guessing myself. I was like, am I going to be ready for the season?
Yeah.
Like I really never knew until I also transitioned from 8 steps to 7 steps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was playing on my mind too, bro. Like that was playing mind games on me because it was hard, bro. It was hard.
Because Antoine was doing that.
Yes, and I was getting mad at myself. I'm like, bro, it's not that hard. Why am I struggling with this?
Yeah.
But I was struggling like bad. It was points where I was like, I couldn't finish a practice, bro, because I got so mad at myself.
Dang.
You know? And it was like, right before Nationals, okay, like my second year, you know, of doing the 7 step and everything like that, right before Nationals, I switched to 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there was a practice where Antoine was cooking me. That boy was cooking my shit, bro. Like, he was beating me out the block, beating me over the hurdles. I'm like, bro, this 7 step, this shit not working, bro. Like, mind you, I've been doing it all indoor season.
Yeah.
But, like, I've been, like, iffy with it. Like, I haven't been consistent. So, there was a practice right before we left for indoor nationals in Boston. I switched to 8 steps. And then Coach Rob, he ain't noticed it. So, but when we looked at the film, he was like, hold up. Did you do 8 steps? I'm like, oh, my fault. Like, you know, I forgot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Then he asked me again, said, did you do 8 steps? Like, did you do that on purpose? Because he knew I was getting cooked.
Yeah.
He knew I was getting annoyed and stuff like that when Antoine was, like, whooping me. But I was like, yeah, I switched, coach. And then, bro, he started going crazy, bro. Screaming at me, bro. Talking about, you're self-sabotaging yourself. Stop being selfish. You think you know more than me. Blase, blase. He was going crazy, bro.
That's Coach Rob.
Yeah. And damn near, like, after that, bro, like, he basically kicked me out of practice. Out of practice. Like, it was low-key mutual because I was done with that shit. Like, I was mad at the same time, too. And then he was also mad. And it was just like, bro, I'm done. Like,
when Coach Rob is mad, he's mad.
Literally. Literally.
Yeah.
But then we ended up having, like, I went to lift. I lifted and everything like that. We ended up having a meeting. It's like 30-minute meeting, bro. Talking about, bro, you can't do that. You can't self-sabotage yourself. Just trust the training and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, coach, like, I trust you, but, like, it's annoying that I can't get it. You know what I'm saying? And Nationals is coming up.
Yeah.
But I ended up going to indoor natties, and I won.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you got second in the 60.
Yeah.
That was, the 60 to me was close.
No, I got, what'd I get? I got 6, actually. Yeah.
6?
Yeah, I got 6. I got second in Big 12s.
It was Big 12?
Yeah, Big 12 but I got second in the hurdles, too.
Did you?
Yeah, bro, I lost, fam. I lost.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah,
I lost to the Houston cat. I lost to him, bro. I lost. And then he hit the little celly. He was like, I was like, no, not on my home track, bro.
Yeah, I remember that. I wonder what he's up to nowadays. Is he still in school?
Nah, he's not in school. He on his pro stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think he has a deal.
Yeah, not yet.
It's hard, bro.
Bro.
I swear to God, it's hard, bro.
Yeah.
If you don't have a deal, it's crazy, bro.
It's a whole different world, bro.
Yeah, track, bro. That's why I low-key hate track.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the professional side of track.
You just started.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But my agency, my deal, it was hard, bro.
Yeah.
It was hard.
I mean, you earned it, so.
Yeah, for sure.
You can get better, though.
Yeah.
You can definitely get better.
For sure.
Getting it, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So you won Nationals indoor.
Yeah.
You know, dipped at the line, did what you had to do. But then you got hurt again.
Yeah, got hurt again.
Yeah.
After an amazing indoor season, We ran a football 460. I ran a 6 60. I'm like, bro,
you were the highest scorer, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, or it was like me and Nico Young or something like that. But
this is your trophy.
But nah, yeah, we definitely did our thing in indoor. I was getting ready to go to Texas Relays, right?
Yeah.
And then I was doing some starts. We usually do starts before we get in the workout, like those 10 meter, 20 meter starts and stuff like that. I did my start, bro. Just something in my leg popped. I said, bruh, no, bruh. And I screamed, bruh. As soon as it had my screen, I was like, yeah, I'm cooked. I said, I'm cooked. I've never had this feeling before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never really had an immediate injury like that. And I got an MRI. They said I tore my a muscle in my groin. And I would be out for like, this is what the doctor said, verbatim. I kid you not. He said I'll be out for like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I'm cooked, buddy. I might as well just red shirt, come back another year. Bro, when he said that, started looking for jobs, bro. Kid you not, bro. I was looking for jobs and everything like that. And I was telling Coach Rob constantly, bro, I'm cooked. And he was like, every time I said that, he would get so mad at me, bro. And mind you, I remember telling the trainer this, bro. I didn't even tell you that, bro. Yeah. So how the trainer, trainer ended up telling, I was like, bro, like, I don't think I'm going to come back. I was telling the student trainer, I was like, bro, I don't think I'm going to come back. Like, I'll probably be done for the season. And then literally, I remember like 2 hours later, he called me. He said, bro, stop saying that. Like, you gonna be good. Stop saying that you're not gonna come back. Blase. Like, say that again, we gonna have a problem. I'm like, Coach Rob, I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be real with myself. But I kid you not, that injury, it messed me up mentally, but Coach Rob kept me in check.
Yeah.
So I appreciate him for that greatly. The trainers kept me in check. My dad, my my family and everything like that, they kept me in check. And that's what really helped me, because if I didn't have them, my mental would have been messed up for sure. But it was like, bro, you're him, basically. Like, believe in yourself, bro. Believe in yourself. So, like that. Yeah. That's
when that, because in the same time, you and Terrence got hurt.
Yeah. Me and Terrence got hurt. Yeah.
The moral of the team went down.
Yes, bro.
I feel like that kind of contributed a little bit to like what happened outdoor.
Yeah, it definitely did. Like, we didn't have the same spark as we did during indoor. Like, when we got hurt, like, it was crazy. And I ended up being able to perform, you know what I'm saying? Thankfully, bro. Thankfully, because if I didn't, shit, I wouldn't have no contract. Terrence, he was good for sure. Like,
true.
He was able to get a contract. He was good, trust. But me, on the other hand, like,
you was trying to get your way in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you didn't open your season until
Big 12, bro. And I was
terrible meet.
Yes, terrible raining, bro. Delay after delay. I'm like, bro, no way. Bro. And I kid you not, the 200 on the first day, Thursday, I think, Terrence ran the 200. He ran 21.3 or something like that. I said, fuck.
Yeah.
I said, bro.
Yeah.
He just came back for an injury. His first meet's back. Yeah. He ran like shit. Yeah. I said, no way. Please, God. Please. And then I talked to Ford. I'm like, bro, Ford, like, I don't know if I could run, bro. I don't know if I'm going to do good, bro.
Yeah.
Because if I ran, I wouldn't have been able to redshirt at all. Yeah. So it was like I was going back and forth with myself. Like, oh, if I redshirt, I could get a whole year of training and everything like that. Because, like, mind you, I broke my foot in the summer. Yeah. So, like, I wasn't able to get the fall season, right? Yeah. And then also I just got hurt. So I wasn't able to get that training. So I'm like, bro, if I run and I run bad, I'm done with track for forever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if I redshirt, I can come back. So I was going back and forth with myself about that. And then I ended up saying, fuck it. Like, I'm going to just run. Like, I'm here for a reason. I'm going to just run. And then, at that meet, I seen him run, Terrence run. And I was like, it kind of fucked me up mentally. I was like, am I ready to run?
Yeah.
But I was talking to Ford. He kind of got me in the right
mindset,
headspace and stuff like that. I was like, I appreciate you, Ford. On God, that's why you out there, but other than that, like I ran 50-point. It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was cool for sure.
I think not Caleb, Oscar ran like 49 or something like that. Yeah,
Oscar ran 49, and then I'm like, okay, Oscar, I see you.
Yeah,
like low key, it was so easy, but I was low key struggling.
you didn't look like you was struggling,
bro. Low key, like I tried, bro. I tried. I don't know if I was going 100%.
Yeah,
but I was actually trying. You know what I'm saying?
100%, right?
I was actually trying, and then come final day. I also ran the 110 hurdles, which was bad. I ran 13.8.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was like prelims, like it didn't because like all the delays and everything like that.
Warmed up.
Yeah. It was bad, but I made it to regionals with that mark.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
I made it regionals, but I didn't make out of the regionals because I ended up like crashing a hurdle and I didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that final for Big 12s, I wasn't finna run. Yeah, I wasn't like
I got the mark.
I got the mark, and then after the hurdles, I was disappointed. The 110 hurdles, I was disappointed. Like, bro, I just ran 13.8. Like, it's going to be the same. I'm going to run 50-point again. Like why I got to run it? I just want to practice more.
Yeah.
And then my boy Nick was there. Nick Cross, he's in the NFL, starting safety for the Indianapolis Colts. He was there. He was like, bro, I came all this way for you not to run, bro. Just run, bro. Just run. And Coach Rob was like, why not run? It's practice. It's practice. My dad was calling me, like, run, bro, run.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, bro, fuck it. I'm going to just run. Like, leading up to the race, he was like, if you're hurt, tell me. But you're not hurt. So, like, why not run?
Yeah.
It's practice. You haven't ran all season. But I'm like, bro, I just don't want to be disappointed, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mad. Like, if I run 50-point again, like, I'm going to be pissed. Because I hate seeing that. But then I ran 48. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And Coach Rob was like, I told you. I'm like, you did tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy seeing that, bro. Especially seeing like how you were like training coming in, because like even going in, I remember one day I saw you had no haircut. I used to see you with a fresh
no haircut.
I was like, man, you okay? Like, nah, man, I don't feel good. I don't deserve it. I was
God, I don't deserve the haircut.
I was like, what are you talking about? this man said I don't deserve a haircut. That shit was crazy to me, bro.
That's funny, bro. That's funny.
That was crazy.
But yeah, like that meet was kind of. It was just crazy. The weather, us not winning because we were supposed to win. Coming off the indoor natties.
Oh yeah,
like we were supposed to win easily, bro. And we didn't win. We lost to Texas. They actually swept it. You know what I'm saying? The women's and the men's, they were stunning on us.
Yeah.
They was like, oh yeah, Texas. But yeah, that was a crazy meet. Coach Kelly was mad. That meet.
Yeah,
he was so mad. He was like.
Mad. He was mad.
He was mad.
I like that you said like Ford was a good person to talk to, because I ain't gonna lie. Ford, to me, he is the one that made me kind of believe. Not saying I didn't believe in the trainers here, but like that man shouldn't have competed last year. To me, bro.
Yeah,
that man was dead.
100%.
He was dead, bro. Like
100%.
So for him to tell you like, oh yeah, you be straight.
Yeah,
you were straight, bro.
100%. 100%.
That man was not it, bro.
And I kind of had to play the same role that he was doing to me, like, because he didn't make the 400-meter hurdle final.
Yeah,
and he was messed up about it. His mental was not, and that's like the first time I seen Ford like that. Like he's usually high energy and stuff like that, but he was just down, bro. And I had to like talk to him about that because. You know, he just helped me before the race, and now he's down and stuff like that. So, you know, I had to, talk to him, rap to him about that. Yeah. But this year, he'll be straight for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Full year
pushing more weight. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to be good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was speaking to Coach Rob. He told me that, I don't know, I don't remember word for word, but I think he said, you might lose at Big 12s because you're on, what's his name, Nathan's home turf.
Yeah.
You're going to be like a little iffy at regionals, but you're going to go out there and win. He said that. That's true.
Yes, he said that.
He told me to ask you.
He said that, don't worry about Big 12s.
Yeah.
You probably going to lose because, everybody in shape or whatever.
Yeah.
Home turf advantage, you know what I'm saying? So he said, don't worry about Big 12s. Don't worry about regionals. I'm gonna get you right for nationals.
Yeah.
Shit, that's what happened.
So said, so done.
That's what happened. And then after regionals, right before that race, I ran 48:05 in the regionals. But right before that race, I didn't make the 110s.
Yeah.
So I was mad about that. He was like, don't go out there and try to kill it. Blase. Just stick with your race plan. Don't mess this up too. Like, bro, I'm mad, bro. Stop talking to me, bro. Like, stop talking to me, bro. But I ended up running so smooth. Like, that 48:05 was the easiest I've ever ran in my entire life.
Jeez,
like, it was
man.
so smooth.
For real.
And I feel like I didn't even have to try.
What does that feel like to run like that fast?
Bro, it feels like you're not trying, bro.
What does that mean?
Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I was just so smooth. Like, I didn't have to exert, I feel like, that much energy. Like, my rhythm was great. The pace that I ran at was great. Like, it just worked out. Like, yeah.
I know they like Coach Rob, Coach G, they all talk about just relax.
Yeah.
It's just a practice rep. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool when you're like in shape and on top mentally, but like when you're down, oh man, it's hard to like feel like smooth. Bro.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard, bro. I ain't
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel you. Definitely.
But yeah, all right, let's talk about the rounds at Nationals, man.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. I love that. Yeah, I was moving. I can't lie, bro. I was trying to make a statement. That first round came out 48:05. I was like, I'm trying to make a statement, bro. And then in the final, after I ended up winning, I heard they wasn't even announcing my name, bro. At the start of the race, they was talking about Chris. They was talking about Clement Ducos. They was talking about Nathan from Baylor.
Yeah.
They didn't even mention my name, fam, after the race. But, I ended up winning. I just knew from my prelim that I was going to run fast. Because I ran 48:05 twice. Once at regionals, once in the prelims at nationals. And I'm like, yeah, bro. Like,
it's something else.
Yeah, like I could definitely break 47. And if I don't break 47, it's because like something happened, bro. But I was ready to run, bro.
You ran what, 47.23?
Yeah, 47.23. Yeah, second fastest time ever.
NCAA. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
What's the record? 47.06.
47.02. Rod Benjamin.
Oh, just 2?
02. Yeah.
Oh, that's fast.
And he ran that joint in the rain too.
Yeah,
that boy was moving. I can't lie.
That's a super year.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. Damn.
Yeah, he was.
You think you could have beat him that year with this time? Like if you
wait, actually nah. maybe. But he ran that joint by himself for real. I had Chris pushing me on the curb and stuff like that.
Right. Say you had like a full year.
Okay.
Yeah. Because remember you started like October.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I think he even ran like 20.3 indoor that year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So if you had like a full year, you think you would have beat him? Personally, I think so. You don't have to say it, but I think so too.
It would have been close. Yeah. I think I would have beat him. It would have been close though, for sure. Yeah. For sure. Because running 47.02 in the rain with no comp is crazy. Yeah, crazy work.
Yeah.
For sure. But it would have been close, yeah. I think, bro, if I had if Chris was like right with me on that home stretch coming in, like I probably would have ran 46. And also, like, my 9th and 10th hurdle, it was kind of bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I know I can run 46, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll run 46.
Yeah. You think you can run 19, though?
Shit. I know. Coach Robbie saying I can run 19 all the time.
You can run 19, bro.
If I focus on it and if I work on it, I think I can.
It sounds like you just need to just don't think about it, bro.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's how
Yeah. You run if I train for it, though, I think I can run 19.99. I run like 19.99.
You ran 6'5", bro.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
That's a couple times, bro.
Yeah. 652. Yeah,
it's 52. I thought it was 5'5".
Yeah, 52. Oh, I mean with the conversion here, 654. But
you were in 5'2".
Yeah, 5'2" here in the prelims at Big 12s.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dang, man. That's fast. You can run 19 for sure.
Yeah.
You can run 19.
I think I'm going to do some 200s actually this year.
For real?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you would land, so.
Yeah.
He's the 200 man right now.
Yeah.
Well, no, he ain't really win, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you won nationals. How you get to the 3 stripes?
Okay, so like I won nationals, and you know, of course, with my time, I thought I was gonna get signed like ASAP. You know, I didn't get signed until July. July, like,
oh, for real?
Like 15th, like late, bro. And I think it's because the agent I had, like he cool, we cool, but like I dropped him. I ended up dropping him. Long story short, I ended up dropping him, getting a new agent. But everybody else was signed with a brand at trials, like Mackenzie Long, Jasmine Jones, Grace Stark. Like everybody was signed, and I'm like, I'm the only one not signed. And I ran the second fastest time. I ran the second fastest time in collegiate history. Why am I not signed? My agent was telling me, oh, the only reason you're not signed is because their deals are under $100K. I said, I know they're not getting under $100K. No. Like, stop lying to me, bro. And it was a long process. It was bad. Yeah, I don't recommend. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not a lot of transparency with the trying to sign a pro contract and like getting a pro deal. It's a lot, and it's definitely just find a good agent. Because I thought I had a great agent. You know what I'm saying?
It looks good.
Yeah, because Courtney with him. Yeah, Courtney got right and everything like that. But you know, Terrence was originally with him. I was with him originally, and Mackenzie Long was originally with him. She was, but then she dropped him right before she got her deal and stuff like that. And like, you know, I was talking to them, and he kind of did the same things that he did to them, but they had the balls to drop them. Yeah. But I wasn't really trying to mess up what I was already had, because he was like, yeah, Adidas. I got a Nike offer too. Yeah. But I didn't take it because, you know, I think they're more I heard Nike is like more strict and more harsh with like their reductions and stuff like that. So I was like, Adidas, okay, like let me just go with Adidas. Yeah. But I didn't get my contract offer until like July 15th. Sheesh, man. Yeah, and everybody else got signed before trials. So I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy though.
I was like, that's crazy.
Considering you won for real. And
that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, everybody else was a different agent. So I just assumed it was my agent. Like, yeah.
Usually it is, bro. Like, agents make the game so much harder. Yeah. And they can make it suck, bro. Like, they can take like a good athlete and just stock, bro.
No,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, agents play too big of a role in track and field. Yeah. For my liking.
Yeah, definitely.
I ain't with that. So you like Adidas?
Yeah. They cool. They cool.
I do like it. I personally like Adidas.
Yeah, I like Adidas. I like their stuff that they be sending me and stuff. I got some Adidas shit on right now. They're a little dirty, but it's cool.
I feel that. So how was the Diamond League?
I got cooked, bro.
Oh yeah, you gonna get cooked, bro.
But like that's when I was dealing with my contract and stuff. Like going all the way out to Monaco, I wasn't finna run, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they ain't sent me my contract until the night before I raced, and it was bullshit. Like the numbers, I said, "What the is this, bro?" Yeah, because they promised me something else, and they sent me this, and I was mad at my agent too. Say, you promised me this whole time that I was gonna get this number, but you sending me this number? Yeah, like that's crazy. Like I'm not running. Like you got me messed up, bro. Yeah, you got me messed up, and that's when I got a whole Adidas kit, bro. Like. They sent me a box full of stuff, right? Yeah. So I have the Adidas stuff upstairs. I got my contract when I was eating it in the hotel. So we was having dinner, and I was by myself. Bro, I lost my appetite, bro. I was right next to like Alison Dos Santos. Yeah. So like I just lost my appetite. I'm like, bro, I can't do this no more, bro. When I seen that contract, and I called my parents. They was like, I know you're mad. We pissed too, blase. But like, don't let it affect your race tomorrow. I said, bro, I'm not running. I don't care. I'm not running. Yeah. And then they was like, no, don't do that. You're all the way out in Monaco, blase. You have to run. I'm like, bro, I'm not running. I don't care what y'all say. Like right now, like I'm not running. And then my agent called me. He was like, yeah, like let me know. Blase, if you want to run, because like if you don't run, they're not going to invite you back. I said, they're going to invite me back, trust, next year. And when I'm running fast times, when I drop some heat, they're going to invite me back. They don't care. Like, come on. If you running fast, they're going to invite you back.
That's all that matters.
It was like, you don't want to be on bad terms with the director. I said, bro, I don't care, bro. Like, I will not run. Like, and then I was talking to my girlfriend. My Coach Rob actually ended up calling me. He was like, I'm pissed. They did that to you. They sent you that whack contract. And he was like, but you got to run. I said, I'm not running. Well, I was agreeing with him, but deep down inside, I was like, I'm not running, bro. I don't care what you're saying right now, bro. Like, I'm pissed, bro, fam. I'm pissed. So that night, I told myself I wasn't running. The whole next following day, I was like, if I do run, I'm not running in Adidas stuff. Like, they try to disrespect me, for real.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, there was my agent was there, and he ended up buying me like a neon green kit and stuff like that with like just black, no brand spandex pants and stuff like that. And I was like, bro, I'm still not running. I'm finna lie. Like, I'm finna lie to them and be like, oh, I got a stomach virus. I swear to God, I was telling people that, like, I got a stomach virus, bro. But then I was like, bro, I'm in Monaco. I'm going to just run. Yeah. Like, I came all the way out here, bro. I'm going to just run. But I'm not mentally sound right now. Yeah. But I'm going to just go out there and do whatever. So I went out there and, I mean, I got last. Like, my mental wasn't right. I didn't want to run. And obviously it showed. I got last, came in with 48.4.
I mean, that's not a bad time to go.
Yeah, it's not a bad time, but it's like still getting last is crazy. Yeah. I was like, I'll never get last. Yeah. I got last. It's crazy. But I mean, overall, it was a good experience. You know, first time in Europe. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I knew that meal was gonna be bad though, because like when I was in Dallas, my phone broke. I ended up dropping my phone. Yeah. And it broke. So I ain't have no phone. I literally raw dogged that flight, bro. No phone. And then straight vibes. My iPad, it wasn't working either. Damn. Like the screen went blank and it wouldn't turn on.
All the signs.
Yes, all the signs. And then, kid you not, bro, on the flight, mid-flight, bro, I had my charger for my computer because I was using my computer. Yeah. That joint broke, bruh. My computer charger broke. I'm like, bro, no way. No way, bro. So I ended up buying a new iPad in Monaco. Yeah. And stuff like that. And I was just thugging out on the iPad, bro. Yeah, and I waited, literally, bro. So whenever I went somewhere, bro, I needed Wi-Fi. I'm in a city by myself. Like, I'm in a different country by myself. Like, this is my first time in Europe. And nothing works. Yeah. And mind you, I didn't know that they had different outlets.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah. It was my first time in Europe. Yeah. I'm trying to plug my shit in, bro. I said, what the fuck is this?
That boy don't work.
Bro, that joint did not work. So I had to get a new outlet and everything. Or a new plug. Yeah. I'm like, bro, everything going wrong, bro. Yeah. Everything's going wrong. All the and mind you, I was roomed with Andrew Hudson. You know, he went to Tech.
Yeah.
But I thought I had a single. I thought I had a dolo room. You know, it was my first time, you know, in the Diamond League circuit and stuff like that. Like, shit, I'm here first. So, like, I put my shit on the other bed. I'm like, bro, I got a new room. Like, I got a room to myself. Just tough. Like, I'm lit, bro. Yeah. Next thing you know, I hear some knocking. I said, hold up. Who is this? Like, maybe room service or something. Yeah. Not room service, like, but the cleaning ladies and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, who is this? I peeped I look in the people, and then I see Andrew Hudson. I said, oh, maybe he had the wrong room. So what's good, bro? What's up? I was like, oh, yeah, this is my room. I said, oh, shoot, let me get the stuff off your bed, bro. I said, my fault, bro, my fault. And that's when I knew. I was like, dang, I really got a roommate, bro.
Yeah. I think that works off like if you get like a medal or something, you get like
when you him, you'll have your own room.
Yeah, like Grant.
Yeah, you know, own room. Yeah, Noah, all them cats.
Easily, man. Yeah. Easily. All right, so let's talk about the Bowerman.
Okay, yeah.
Bowerman, man, you did all that work. All that work got you right here to the Bowerman. What does it mean to you to win the Bowerman? If you win the Bowerman, you think you can win Bowerman?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm not going to win. I'm gonna be 100. I'm not gonna win.
You think Leo gonna get it?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Leo gonna win.
I think so too.
Leo gonna win, but it'll mean a lot to me, especially because all the stuff that I went through this past season.
Yeah,
it'll mean the world for sure. But I think if I had a healthy season and I was healthy and I was able to drop marks in the 110 hurdles, maybe the 200 and stuff like that, then I would have had the opportunity to win.
But you won though.
I did.
Yeah,
he won too though.
He did win. He did win, but he had no.
But I think he gonna win. I mean, everybody at this Bowerman event, they definitely deserve to win. I think I deserve to win. We definitely had an amazing season and stuff like that. But I think he'll probably win. And if I do win, it'll be a shocker. But it'll definitely mean a lot to me for sure.
You got a speech?
No. I'm not about to.
You don't know.
In my mind, I'm like, I don't really need a speech. My dad was like, oh, just have one prepared and stuff like that. I'm like, man, come on.
You know the game.
Yeah, I know the game. I know the game.
I can feel that.
I know the game for sure. But it's in Orlando, and I'm already living in Orlando, so I don't really got to do too much traveling.
Yeah. So how's it living in Orlando?
It's cool, bro.
Yeah.
Way better than Love. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Wait, it's an upgrade, but it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
How was the training with Lance?
Honestly, I think I'm gonna do some damage this year for sure. I mean, like I said earlier, it's like similar to text training.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have to adjust that much. So I mean, just having people who are better than you train with you. Like I train with Dream Richards, Noah, all them cats. Like my training group is crazy. We got some dogs. So like being with them, training with them, it's like okay, like I can never have a bad day at practice, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm not feeling it, I still gotta go hard,
Yeah, because they know they're seasoned vet, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Champions in their own
sure.
right.
They got they old, they got families and stuff. So like, but they seasoned for sure.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm excited to see how you do this year and your following years.
Yeah.
So looking forward to like Tokyo, even though it's a far jump. How far past Tokyo you think you want to go? It just depends on like. Well, let me hear you.
As in like how many years?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm trying to like run till the wheels fall off, man. Until like I'm not getting paid to do this anymore. Cause I do this for 15 years, 10 more years. It's like I'm getting paid, bro. But like I feel like if I don't have a contract, like I probably would like
I feel that.
Yeah, cause it's hard, bro. It's hard, bro.
It is.
I don't think I'm that committed for real.
Nah.
I don't think I'm that committed.
What you get your degree in?
Financial plan.
Yeah. Masters, by the way.
Yeah, masters for sure.
Did hella man. But what's an advice you want to leave with like a youngin coming up?
Everyone has their own journey. For real. Everyone has their own past. Basically stay in your lane. Stay in your lane in life, stay in your lane on the track. Not everyone has the same path or journey. So if you see people, doing better than you at the time, like don't compare yourself because, your journey might be different and everything like that. And, I think something that I want to take from tech is like, just believe in yourself because when I didn't believe in myself, I had other people around me that believed in me and that made me believe in myself. So, having a great support system is very beneficial for your success. So find the people that love you, find the people that support you, find the real ones in your circle, and they'll definitely take you far. So, just believe in yourself and stay in your own lane. Don't compare yourself to others because that could be mentally draining for sure. So I guess that's something I tell the youth, what I'm saying, the youngins.
Yeah. I do want to tell you something though. You're like on people's like phone screens though. Like you like a superstar.
That's OD.
Yeah, I said it. I saw it and I was like, that's kind of weird. But like, no, it's Caleb D. And I was like, you know what? I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I got people in my DMs and stuff like that asking for advice. So it's kind of like I used to be in that position, you know what I'm saying? So, asking people for advice and things of that nature. So it's kind of like, it's a good feeling, you know what I'm saying? That I'm inspiring, people and everything like that. So, yeah, it's definitely. I used to be, I used to have Cindy McLaughlin as my phone screen, bro. I used to be obsessed. I used to be obsessed with her back in high school, bro. It was like actually like crazy.
Be like that, man.
Nah, for
she
sure.
is the world record.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Speaking of world record, who would you want to race the four hurdles?
Bro, I think me and Grant, Like, I think that would be a fun race, bro.
4 hurdles or 110?
4 hurdles, bro.
4 hurdles?
Because he can run the 4 hurdles for sure. He can run
can.
anything, bro.
He can.
So I think, I already raced Carson, Elson Dos Santos when I came in last in Monaco, Rod Benjamin. But I mean, definitely, I need my get back with them. I need a rematch.
Yeah. I forgot to ask you, Olympic trials, bro. What happened in that race, bro?
Like, it was crazy, bro. I mean, of course, I thought I was gonna make the team. I was confident I should have made the team, but I was dealing with the contract situation and stuff like that. I didn't know if I was going to get signed. I don't know. I didn't know if my performance was going to affect how much money I was getting and stuff like that. So I think that played a role. I hate to say that it did. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, people, like my family and stuff like that, think it played a role. I keep telling them it didn't, but it probably did play a role and everything like that. And, going in the race, I was confident. I was trying to hit another gear, like coming home, and then my foot just clipped. Like, I wasn't technically sound. Like, my foot just clipped the hurdle, and I fell. Yeah, like, I was like, dang. I looked up at the screen. I seen the time, so I'm like, bruh, I could have made it, bro. Easily. I could have made it easily, bro. And I was right there, the last 100. Yeah. I ended up walking back, and I started crying, bro. That's why I put my shirt over my head, bro. Because I started crying, bro. I was like, don't cry. Like, you in front of people, you on the camera. I know they're going to show me on the camera, bro. Because they be doing that stuff. They did that to a thing move. Yeah. They be showing Christian Coleman when he was sitting down and stuff. Yeah, bro. They be putting the camera. So I like, bro, I know they're going to put the camera on me. So let me take off my shirt and put it over my head because I'm finna cry, bro. I started crying, bro. And then I stopped crying when I was in the tent. My boy Chris Robinson, like, bro, he was there for me, fam. I can't lie. He had me keep my he kept my composure, bro. Like, he kept my head up and everything like that. Cause like, he low key was in the same position, even though he didn't make a team. Yeah, he was in the same position last year for World Trials, like U.S. Trials. He fell. He ended up falling in the prelims and stuff like that. So he went through the same thing that I went through. Yeah, and low key, it might be a curse for the 400 hurdles. Hear me out. Sean Burrell fell 2021 Olympic trials. He fell, and I was in the same heat as him. Right. Chris Robinson fell at the trials. Me, I fell at the trials, bruh. So it was like something with winning the NCAA championship in the 400 hurdles. Yeah, like
I can take that one out.
Yeah,
check that one out.
But Chris Robinson, he definitely had my head up and stuff like that. But then, when I went back to get my stuff, I seen Coach Rob. I started crying, bruh. And then, he was there. He was able to comfort me and stuff like that. And then I was like, okay, I'm done crying, bruh. I walk up. I see because my parents were there too. See my dad. I started crying, bruh. I'm like, fuck, bruh. This joint hurt, bro. It definitely hurt. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, hurt. You are big on family. I'm glad that your family is with you too.
No, definitely.
Even here at the track meets, you would have like family and fans.
Yeah, for sure. I'm big on that for sure.
Yeah. I forgot to say something, but like Coach Kitley, he compared you to Army's fifth knife.
Oh yeah, he do be saying that.
Yeah, that's cold. That's a cold nickname.
Yeah, okay.
I hope I see that with you on the circuit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice, bro. But I appreciate it, bro.
No, for sure. I appreciate you for having me on. For sure, definitely,
bro. Thank you.
Yeah,
and goodwill in the season.
For sure. I appreciate you. You too, bro. If you still competing and shit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know you're gonna do your thing. If you end up still running.
Yeah. Nah.